It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, you can look on that sharp interactive board and realize that I'm going to be talking about Valsoft's acquisition of MPS Monitor EuroForm. Folks, I'm reading the press release. You see the press release. It's all over the place. It's all the same press release because our industry just copies and pastes what people give them. But when I was reading this press release, MPS Monitor in their About section had some numbers. No, they weren't revenue or EBITDA numbers. I always find it amazing when these organizations talk about how they were just sold and how it's going to be so fantastic and wonderful. But they never include the numbers, you know. And some people will say, well, Ray, they don't have to because, it's private entities buying them, venture capitals, they don't ever share the numbers. Well, they do if it's a big home run, I'm thinking. I remember when ConnectWise, Arnie Bellini sold ConnectWise over to Toba Bravo. Man, there was like big parties, right? That thing sold for over $1 billion. They announced all the millionaires that were made instantly the day that deal was done. They were super excited about it, and they should have been. They should have been proud of it. They accomplished a wonderful thing. But these DCA technologies jump from hand to hand, go into private equity, and it's like, what's the deal? Are these things even profitable? Because that's the question I'd be asking. And then I'm looking at these numbers that MPS has in there about the units and how many dealers they have, and I'm starting to do some math on this, and I'm thinking, man, I'm 100% correct on my thinking about managed print services. Nobody wants to do it. It's a declining industry. And then you got to ask yourself, well, why is Valsoft investing in this? Because some of my friends, they'll say, oh, the print industry, people are putting money in the print industry. This is fantastic. Nah, no, it's a consolidation. It's a financial engineering process, I'm pretty sure. And folks, the reality of it is this. Sometimes these software companies look at DCA technologies, and the people that have these DCA technologies, they might be really, really good at sharing a story about the wonderful Internet of Things around printers and how the whole entire world wants to manage all the printers in the world and they're all going to go on subscription. Come on. We've all heard the stories, right? We've all heard the stories. Or they're buying these softwares because it's just DCA technology. It's technology that has sensors, and from those sensors, guess what? It causes an AI or digital or human interaction. So it's software that works with sensors. What else could they do with it? I'm hoping that's why they bought it. Surely they didn't buy it because they thought they were going to grow managed print services in the marketplace. If they thought that, they should have been paying attention to the stock market. Remember when HP's stock, it's still crashing, by the way, kept falling. And one of the last analysts that I shared on the end of the day with Ray here, one of the stories about HP was that they downgraded their stock from 40 to 30. Because last quarter, the supplies at HP dropped 9%, and HP said the supply business would drop double digits over the next few quarters. And of course, HP being the biggest player in the space, delivering supplies into the marketplace, you would think that that means that print's actually really declining, and the more it declines, the less people want to manage it, right? It all makes sense. It's all coming together. Folks, let's do some math on these numbers here. So they say that over the last 12 years, MPS Monitor has 1,300,000 printing devices and 37 billion pages monitored each year on over 220,000 end users with 2,500 dealers. So I did some math. Let's just do some math here. 37 billion divided by 1.3 million devices is 28,468 pages per year. Divided by 12 is 2,371 pages per month. That's something we got to manage. Now, some of you will say, well, Ray, these softwares are like in enterprise accounts. And these accounts have a whole lot more printers. Well, if that's the case, then when you start pulling those out, the ones that are left are even printing less, right? Oh, gosh, it's not a good thing either way, right? Let's do some more math. 220,000 end users by 1.3 million devices is 6 devices per end user. 6 devices per end user. Again, you'll say, yeah, but Ray, some of these accounts are really big and they'll have hundreds of devices. That means all the rest of them have less than 6 devices. That's even worse. Better for my argument. 220,000 end users divided by 2,500 dealers is 88 customers per dealer. 88 customers per dealer. This is a big home run. And folks, at the end of the day, 88 customers per dealer? And those dealers were with you how long? And how many customers did they add every year? How many printers do they add every year? See, it'd be nice if they shared some of those kind of numbers. But folks, wouldn't it be nice if they shared what the volume going through all those printers was before COVID and what it is now? I'm hoping that the investors ask those questions. Of course, like I said, the investors just could have looked at the HP financials and probably decided that managed print services isn't going to go very far. And this fantasy about subscriptions in everybody's houses isn't going to go very far. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we could get EKM? Remember EKM was bought by Tech Data out there in Europe? Wouldn't it be fantastic if we could get those people and we could ask them this: how many IT service providers are selling managed print services through Tech Data? What's the revenue on that business? What's the EBITDA on that business? Wouldn't that be fantastic to know? I think it would. Because, folks, I'm telling you right now, when you listen to these people talk about their DCA technologies, it's like being on a merry-go-round. And they talk about all this wonderful stuff they do, but I got to ask all the dealers this question, all those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, okay? Go to your teams and ask them, what do they use the DCA software for right now? How many quarterly reviews are they meeting with C-level executives in the conference room talking about all the things that are going on with their print? Really? You're going to find out they're using it to collect a meter, they're using it to fill up toner, right? I mean, that's what they're using it for. And folks, a lot of dealers don't even do the toner thing with it, which is amazing. But you listen to these technologies, I mean, it's like I'm expecting a hologram to sit in the middle of the conference room table and tell all the customers, you know, exactly what's going on with their printers. Even if it did that, guess what? The printers wouldn't care. The customers don't care because they know they print less every single day. So this is just amazing stuff when you start doing the math. And I got to ask, what's the goal? What's the real goal with all this? And here's what I think. MPS not going to save an industry where the end users continue eliminating their needs of the industry's product. Print sector. People don't need your product, and every day they need it less. And you better figure out what else you're going to do to substitute that declining revenue. And running around and wasting time and money switching out DCA technologies is not going to help you make more money. It's going to cost you money, and it's also not going to give you anything for the money that you spend. Because your customers, they don't care about managing print. And if you look at what MPS monitors, it's their numbers, not mine. I didn't make them up. And if you look at the devices per customer and the page volumes, it's just nothing there. And sooner or later, even enterprise accounts are going to decide, we don't need to manage this anymore. We don't care about people showing up talking to us about printer stuff. I don't need reports about my printers. And the fantasy about subscriptions at people's houses is just a fantasy. Some people still believe that's going to be some big home run. But folks, here's what I suggest. Why don't you invest in e-commerce? I've been screaming about it to you. My buddy Norm McConaughey's been screaming to you about it. It's time to get e-commerce. Don't waste money on DCA technology replacement. Put in an e-commerce site. And I don't mean an e-commerce site built on DCA technology. I mean an e-commerce site where people can go buy laptops and monitors and all the stuff they buy. The hundreds of thousands of dollars they're buying from somebody else. And they're even buying toner from Amazon. Amazon doesn't use DCA technologies, and they're selling hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of toner. Office products resellers are selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of toner without DCA technologies. Staples.com is selling it. Why aren't you? Because you're wasting time trying to figure out how to get a software that's going to put a hologram on somebody's conference table to explain their print flows. When the customers don't care. They'd rather just click buy now. Just some things to think about, my friends, because we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck at status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.